What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 42 of the Geek Cast. I am Bobby, the Geek Guru, joined once again by Toby from England.
From sunny England. It's lovely here.
That's crazy. It's rainy and nasty here. I had to put the fake lights on.
I've been outside in the sun, enjoying it. Lovely.
All bright and stuff. Were you vlogging today?
Yeah, we did a little bit of vlogging.
Oh boy, that's we'll get to that in a minute. And Alan, what is up, Alan?
I'm fine. It's not as sunny up here, but it's 12 degrees, so that's almost like a summer for us. So.
But it is snowing, right?
Probably somewhere, yeah.
12.
It's raining one place, snow somewhere else.
12 sounds so cold, but that's what I'm like. For us, 32 is freezing, so 12 is like.
12 to 14, we class it as barbecue weather. Anything above 14, it's gravy, you know?
I don't understand. Okay, so this part I don't understand. Why the United States determined that we were going to change everything? Like,
because you want it to be different.
I get that we want to be different, but like,
you want to break away from all of the English like traditions and everything that we like go by and we use. Like,
I get that, but some things just don't make sense to change. Like,
no, none of it makes sense to change. The way you measure temperature makes no sense. The way you say your dates are
the way you say aluminium.
No, the dates make sense to me. The dates that makes a lot more sense.
How does that make sense? Why is the month before the day and then the year? That doesn't make sense.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't, does it?
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so if someone says, "What's the date?" and you say the 3rd.
3rd of July, or 3rd of May, or something.
January.
So it'd be the 3rd of the 5th, 2016.
The most important part of that is not the date number; it's the month. The month, then the date. That part I'm good with.
No. Why is the month more important than the day?
Because it sets the tone for it gives you so much more information than the number of the date. Like when I say to you, January 5th. The minute I say January, you start immediately going, okay, it's cold, it's winter time, okay, and then what's the date? Okay, the 5th, I got you. When I say July 30th, you go, oh, it's summertime. You get that preference, you're
just lazy. You're cutting out words. That's all it is.
How is that lazy? It's the same words. It's just jumbled.
It's the 5th of January. You say it's January 5th.
Well, we just cut to the chase. We don't need all that melodramatic nonsense you guys.
It's probably something to do with like movies, because like when they advertise trailers and crap, they're like coming to cinemas January 3rd. Like they try and like cut it out. It's
better. Trust me, it's better. Everything we do is better. Here's my question to you: how do you say?
Your chocolate's not better.
How do you say color?
Color.
Okay, so why do you have UR in there?
Because that's the correct.
Here's a better one, Toby.
Because
how do you say aluminium?
Wait, it's color, right? So it's COLOR.
And it's like rumor. Rumor is spelled the same with the OUR.
Yeah, the OUR makes no sense. OUR is hour.
All right.
Like
if you're pouring something, how do you spell pour? POUR.
Yeah.
Pour, rumor, color.
No. There's no color. That don't make sense. That's dumb.
Well,
you guys,
Bobby, don't.
You guys just don't
try.
Right, so listen.
Do not sit there as an American butchering our language. It's aluminium. It's aluminum.
And it's
First off,
it's ours.
First off,
mum.
Stop.
Why is it mom?
First. Well, we spell MOM.
Yeah, because you got mom.
You guys spell MUM.
Yeah,
but
mom.
Yeah.
Listen, first off, wait, stop.
Mother.
First, it's not your language, Alan. So stop that nonsense. You are slaves. The English own you.
No.
They tell you what to do. Don't give me that nonsense. We got our freedom. We took and we made ourselves something. You guys are just clinger-ons because you have nothing else better to do. So save that nonsense, our language. It's Toby's language. You bastardized it, and we...
wait a minute. You bastardized it much worse than the Scots do.
Oh, please.
Sir, I will correct you on this.
Correct me nothing, William Wallace.
The opinion of a man whose country has somehow got Donald Trump into the presidential race.
That has nothing to do with me, because I didn't vote yet. The election's way over before I have a chance to vote, which speaks onto something totally different, another totally different issue altogether. That has nothing to do with me. I don't want to vote for Trump.
So what are we all playing then?
Okay, no. What are we geeking out about?
What are we all geeking out about? Sorry, I'm a little
Toby,
rusty. I missed last week. Come back to me.
We're skipping Toby this week, and Alan, what are you geeking out about?
He doesn't go out drinking off, and his hangovers knocked him.
He's all messed up. He's all messed up.
I'm geeking out about the two big guns, or the two big gun games have been shown off: Call of Duty: Infinite Warfare and Battlefield 1. Obviously,
that trailer, Alan, for Battlefield 1 was amazing.
I'm hearing now. I'm not a big. Everybody knows I'm not a big first-person fan and all that stuff, but from what I'm hearing, Battlefield blew Call of Duty out of the water.
You know why that is? It's because Call of Duty just looks like every other Call of Duty.
Yeah. I watched both, and I kind of think Call of Duty needs to go with what Assassin's Creed's doing: is skip a year. Go back to look at what the game is and maybe try something different. The reason I'm interested in Battlefield 1, which, again, it's like Xbox One, doesn't make any sense, is that this idea it's an alternate history, it's a different World War I, so that's kind of cool. And I think with Call of Duty, they've backed themselves into this corner of, we just have to keep going forward because we've now had exoscoots and we've got double jump, and they shoehorn all that into the multiplayer so people learn it, and it's like, right, we have to keep all that, but we want to tell a new story.
The problem is that
I don't think they need to keep it.
The problem is, in a nutshell, is the minute the people stop buying it, that's when they'll change the formula. As long as they keep selling millions of copies, they'll never change anything. Don't matter how much people complain about it. Don't matter how much people go, oh, it's a bit of the same. They don't care. All they care about is $1, and that's at the end of the day, that's all they're doing.
There's obviously this big fan thing of like, give us World War II again, and I don't know if they'll do a straight World War II game.
They will. Battlefield 2 will be World War II.
Battlefield, it'll be. But looking at Call of Duty, I envision that the next game, it's a kind of another future version, but it's going to have like a time travel twist where you end up having to go back to fight in other wars, and as like maybe an insurgent group are trying to change history to affect the future outcome, so you have to go back and stop them from attaining what they're wanting to do. That'd be pretty cool. Activision, you can have that if you send me a big check.
Sounds like you just want to play Doctor Who and whatever.
Doctor Who with guns. I want to play Doctor Who with guns.
That sounds what it sounds like, really.
The thing is, I don't want it to turn out to be like Wolfenstein. You know, like if they are going back, but they're having alternate history versions of it. Because Wolfenstein's all right, but I don't know.
Oh no! I'm thinking that you have to preserve the timeline.
Okay.
So you have to kind of, they're trying to kill Hitler. Like, as a really cool mess up, they go back to try and kill Hitler. So you have to do a mission where you protect him, because if he dies, it changes the timeline eventually. It'd be like a twist. There you go, Activision. Seriously, give me a shout. I need money. I will do things.
That's what some skirt wearing Scott is saying.
You guys used to wear big belt buckles and everything.
That's down south. That has nothing to do with it. That's down south. That's a whole different issue altogether. Yeah. That has nothing to do with us.
If you can swim with your giant belt buckle, you are pure and all that crap.
I am geeking out about. You know what? I'm not 100% what I'm excited about, but I will do something different. Anybody that has the opportunity to watch Thornton vlogs owes it to themselves to check that out. Dude, me and Tony were watching last night, and I was literally laughing out loud. First off, Riley, I can't stand that dog.
He's a nutter,
Get rid of him. Get rid of him.
Get rid of him.
The dog was driving me. Just get rid of him. Seriously. The dog was driving me insane. Insane. Here's Yoshi, this nice, sweet dog, and this little bastard of a dog is picking on him and messing with him, and I'm like, dude, just bite that little bastard, please.
He does. Seriously. He fights back. The thing is, Yoshi is boring in comparison to Riley. He's boring.
He's chill. The problem is that Riley is way up here, so you don't get to see Yoshi's highs. Yeah. Yoshi could be a really awesome, fun-loving dog. You just never see it because you got the psychopath running around.
Yeah.
The other thing is, do me a favor. When you're wearing sweatpants, please pull them down lower than your ankles. You're wearing slippers. He has socks pulled up above the ankles, and then the sweats. You look like a 90-year-old man.
That's just how I dress.
Slippers, Toby.
What is this about this? Karina was having to go at me this morning about socks and slippers.
Ridiculous.
That's like socks and slippers.
No. Wait a minute, wait. You can wear socks and slippers. That's okay. I'm not knocking that at all. What I'm knocking is you have your slippers, and then you have about this much sock showing.
Look.
And then you have your sweats, and it looks horrible.
Whenever we put our clothes in the tumble dryer, they shrink.
That's not shrinking. That is not shrinkage. Stop it. Stop. Just stop. That's just horrible. You look like Al Bundy. Just chill.
Whoa,
what are you geeking out about, Toby?
I don't know. I'm geeking out about something that we're talking on the show, so I'll leave it for now.
Okay. What are you playing then?
I have been playing pretty much non-stop Ratchet and Clank.
I was going to say, it's about time. I yelled at the TV the other day, too, because you were like, I'm about to have a little game with the boys, playing some Grand Theft Auto. I was like, there's a shocker. There is a shocker right there. But I'm glad to see you playing Ratchet and Clank after I had to watch 3 episodes of you crying about a broken cover.
Oh, yeah. That saga went on for a bit, didn't it?
Broken box, or did you get another?
I sent it back, got a refund.
Yeah,
I bought it on Amazon, and Amazon delivered like they always do, because Amazon are the best. I'm asleep.
Well, you should have thought about that the first time when you ordered it.
Yeah, well, I have. I'm never ordering from GameSeek again, so they can screw it. But yeah, Ratchet and Clank, absolutely amazing. It's my favourite PS4 game right now, and it plays so well. It's full of nostalgia for me, because I played all the old ones on the PlayStation 2. And graphically, it's just beautiful. You know, I love everything about it. It's got like this really good sort of feedback loop to it. So, you know, you're going around these different planets, you're killing all the enemies, you're constantly upgrading your weapons, you're constantly finding like these cards that like let you upgrade your weapons in different ways, and you're getting all your bolts, and then you're finding secret gold bolts, and then you're just going through, and just like it's just a constant sort of like progression, and it's just, you know, it's perfect for me. It's the perfect sort of game that I like.
Alan, what are you playing?
Right. My girlfriend, wonderful woman, bought me a gift. She'd been dropping hints, so I'm thinking, I'm getting Call of Duty Black Ops 3, because it's the one game I missed. I didn't get it on day, and I unwrapped it, and it was Star Fox Zero. And it was on my want list. I thought, okay, this is cool, so I'm going to give it a go. And I played it. And that game will do anything it can to prevent me having fun with those damn movie controls. I'm sorry, Nintendo, you dropped the ball. You have got your gimmick got in the way of an enjoyable game, and as such, with nothing coming in 2016, I am tempted now to trade my Wii U in towards my future down payment on my NX. Because
you know what? I sorry to interrupt there, because you're talking nonsense talking about it. Getting rid of your Wii U. I don't want to hear it.
It's so stupid. Why don't you
my Geek Out, I just thought of it.
No, you can't go back. We're not going back. It's done. It's done. We're on what we're playing.
I'm backing this truck up.
You said we're talking about something in the future. We're not going back. We're done.
Yeah, we're still talking about it. I just want to tell people that I pre-ordered Uncharted 4, and oh my god, like I've been trying to be media blackout on that. Yeah. I did see one video though it's not a spoiler. I don't think. Well, it is kind of a spoiler, but
don't talk about it.
It's not a story spoiler. It's not a gameplay spoiler.
I don't want to hear about it. We swore off spoilers. No.
It's not a spoiler though. It's something cool in the game.
Oh, you're such. No.
Forget it. No, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Yeah, you're gonna ruin it for somebody. Don't do it.
I'm not gonna ruin it for anyone. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying there was something extremely cool.
Did you watch Did you watch the commercial that I gave you guys yesterday?
Yeah, I did. I did.
The live action one.
Dude, was that awesome? With Nolan North and Troy Baker.
There's going to be a longer one, and I can't wait to see it. It comes out.
Yeah. Dude, that was hilarious. I watched that, and I literally laughed out loud. That was awesome. That was just... It was
so
just
many
perfect.
good little lines. It's just the way he goes, you just shimmy up there like a gibbon. I was like, that was me when he made this drop. And just Troy Baker's face the whole time. It's just priceless.
Just like, what? That was awesome.
But no, I think, yeah, bye-bye Wii U. We've had fun, but
I think you're making a mistake. I think you're making a mistake. I think that you're going to regret it.
You will.
I think that in 2-3 months, you're going to regret it. I'm telling you. You're right now. You're saying that. I have a feeling that you're gonna live to regret that one.
We will see.
Yeah, I guess we will. I don't want to hear no tears on this show.
I don't want to hear.
I have PSVR to keep me.
Oh yeah, there you go. With your wonky eyes, and you're looking like Sloth with your eyes popping out of your face. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I can still say aluminium correctly.
Doesn't matter. Myself, I've been playing a lot of stuff. I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles, the original game, not X, on the Wii U. I love it. I love the gamepad integration that they have with it. It's just awesome. Because I really thought I was going to have to go back to like a Wiimote and nunchuck to play it. So I'm glad that they got rid of that. Been playing some Earthbound on my 3DS. Actually played Punch-Out on my 3DS, Super Punch-Out. I love the fact that they continued. They gave us our 9 games that they said they were going to give us in the United States, and now they're putting out more. So I thought, like, okay, we'll get the 9 games, and I won't ever see another Super Nintendo game on my 3DS for, like, 2-3 years. And that's not the case. They're bringing them out each week. So
they need something to fill these software gaps, don't they? So
it might as well, man. I'm fine with... I love these little not little, but I love these Super Nintendo games on my 3DS on the go. You know, it's just...
100%.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. So that's it. Let's jump into our topics. So this week, see now, this is the thing that drives me crazy, is because this was rumored back in August. Because I actually did a video on the Geek Guru channel back in August, and we actually talked about this on an episode here on the Geek Cast, where we picked Allan's brain and we went into it. And we were asking him, like, what does all this mean? But now everybody's on it, and they're all excited for it, and they're talking about the NX having carts over discs. And we actually, when we started, just so people understand this, that's where the talk came up about flash drives and SD discs. Like, you know, that's where it all stemmed from with us, our conversation and all that, because, you know, Allan got into the whole, well, they're not going to use the typical old-style carts. They may look somewhat like the old-style carts, but they're not going to play. They don't have the same functionality, it's not the same. It's different, per se. So now this week it's come out, and the internet's blowing up with it. But how do you guys feel about this? You know, are you okay with discs, or do you want the cartridges back?
I really like the idea of having cartridges back, because it harkens back to the old school days when the SNES was out and the N64, and that's like a very classic period for Nintendo. And I love like the way those games are packaged, especially in the card boxes. Like it's unlikely that we'll ever get card boxes back, but that would be just so good if they did that. But I don't know. I mean, I like having cartridges rather than discs. They take up less space. You know, discs always come in the big DVD size boxes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, cards can just come in much smaller packaging, so take up less shelf space for you, Bobby. I know you're Mr. Download.
But... No, that has nothing to do with it. For me, I just feel like the DVDs, whatever, it's all just a DVD case. Like, there's nothing special about, to me, and this is me speaking, there's nothing special to me on a disc. With the boxes, like the old school cartridges, and I know they're not going to do this, so I might even be the same way with these, is we used to get instruction booklets and all that stuff. Like, there was more to the packaging. We used to get maps with certain games and things like that. Like, as corny as that stuff might sound, it just meant the world, especially as a kid, to open that stuff up a million times and just flip through. And, you know, as a kid, you're notorious for you're excited, so you're flipping through the pages. And then as time goes on, you actually take your time and read, and you'll find things that you never realized later on. You know, maybe there might be something in there that you didn't even like. I talked about it in a video where my cousin and I were playing Mega Man, the original Mega Man. And in Mega Man, when you beat a boss, you get their weapon, and you can use their weapon. So we couldn't get anywhere in that game because we did not know that you could actually take the boss's powers. Days later, weeks later, we're just running into brick walls. And like, but you're a kid, that's all you have. You have one game to play for 6-7 months. And we're playing it continuously. And then one day I go home and he calls me up and he's like, dude, I just found something out. I'm like, what's that? He goes, we could change it. I'm like, how? How'd you figure that out? He goes, I just read the instruction booklet. And I'm like, all that time we're looking through the instruction booklet, but we never were reading it. You know, so that's just a kid thing that you typically would do. But it's just, to me, that was the fun of the old school NES cartridges and all that, because you had these instruction booklets, and there was more to the packaging, I feel, than what we get now. To me, it's just a DVD, and there's really, I mean, if they did stuff like cool stuff like steel books, things like that, like if they made them mean something, I would probably collect them more than I do. But when I look at them, I go, it's just a blue package. It's just a blue box. It doesn't speak to me. Alan, what about you?
I'm not surprised. I'm more surprised by folks' reaction, kind of like almost like this was out of the blue. I'm like, well, no, there's a patent, and when you look at everyone's going, oh, it's going to be a hybrid. It's like, well, you're not going to have a disc. But I hope that there seemed to be this going on. Folk hoped that backwards compatibility, or we can be able to play our Wii U games. Like, well, no. I mean, the fact that they're porting the biggest games that were out on Wii U to the system in terms of Smash, that tells you that this system isn't going to play the old game. Yeah. Or they wouldn't bother investing the money.
Yeah.
So I think cartridges kill that. Hopefully people just move on. Personally, I think it's the smart move. If it becomes, as I think, it's going to be a home console and a portable system that share a library, it makes sense for the portable system. And to be honest, with the cost of a 50 gig manufacturer, I still haven't been able to nail it, but I think they are similar. A 64 card is about the same to manufacture as a 50 gig.
I read an article yesterday, and it said that, yes, it's more expensive than discs, but when you're buying the way Nintendo buys, which is millions upon millions of these things, it brings the costing way down. You know what I mean? Like, there is, and that's the thing, like, people just don't tend to get it, like the average person. Like when I set up all the trucking for my company. So if I tell a guy, oh, I need one load taken over to Pennsylvania, next state over, he's going to give me one rate. If I say to him, I have 15 loads going over there, he's going to give me a lower rate because he wants all 15 loads.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it works. Like when you talk in bulk and quantities, the number starts to come down. So to me, that makes a lot of sense. That I think there's multiple reasons why Nintendo wants to get away from discs. It's not like these discs that we're getting from Sony or Microsoft are actually games. You're dumping all the information onto the hard drives the minute you get them. Like every game you start up, you have to do a hardware. You have to do basically install. And so that nonsense of like, oh, third parties aren't going to want this. What's it matter? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's on a disc or a cartridge, as long as the pricing is not astronomical.
Exactly.
What people forget is when like Squaresoft and all these companies didn't want to work with Nintendo anymore, it basically came down to Final Fantasy VII. The difference being 3 discs against 12 or something like that cartridges. That's a huge number. And when you look at it and you go, Nintendo's charging me $30 a cartridge in order to make these games, that's what the problem was. The problem was that Nintendo had these royalty fees attached to it. I don't think they're dumb enough to go back and go, okay, well, and another thing is if they do like flash drives and stuff, like they don't own that technology. They don't own any of that licensing stuff. Where Sony, I feel like they want to get away from discs because when they have discs, they are paying licensing fees.
Yeah.
Meaning they're paying Sony. Why would you want to pay your competition money?
They're not though. The Wii U doesn't use Blu-ray discs.
No, but I'm saying a lot of people are saying they think that the NX should go to Blu-ray.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm answering those calls, like they don't want that. They don't want to go to a Blu-ray disc because that's a Sony proprietary item. That means they would have to license it from Sony and pay Sony every single time they sell an NX because they're going to have to buy the optical drives from Sony, and every time they sell a disc. They're not going to want to do that. It isn't going to happen. 2 is Nintendo has always been against load times. That was the biggest reason they didn't want to go to discs. They were pushed into discs. If they have an option to go back to carts, I think they're going to go back to carts. Just because as long as the pricing is parallel or similar, they're going to do it. I just don't see there's no way around it. It's just my gut. And I think the people that are upset mainly are the people that were hoping for backwards compatibility. And for me, I look at it and I go, I just don't see it happen. But here's the thing. The way Sony and the way that Microsoft are doing backwards compatibility now, well, Sony's offering PlayStation Now, which is a paid service and all that. Microsoft is actually doing backwards compatibility. But there's nothing to say that in a year or two when Nintendo figures things out. That's not an option. Like, look at it now. We're basically getting backwards compatibility to some degree with the Wii U. Mm-hmm. Like, Galaxy 1 and 2 is on there. You can obviously you can throw your disc in there, but you could rebuy it. Who's to say that they don't come up and go, okay, if you have saved data on your... I don't really know exactly how to get around that, but there's got to be a way for them to go, if you own the Wii U or whatever, like, we're going to give you a discount on buying the game again.
I think if it goes cartridge, I'm more interested in being the nerd of how games run different, because the way all that affects how you make the game, because it'll be interesting to see, like, Zelda, whatever they end up calling it, comparative on 2 systems. I'm expecting it, things streaming better, less pop-in and all that kind of stuff, and like you're saying, faster read-write has other benefits, quicker saves, no load times, or reduced load times, We're obviously at a point now, we're going to be, 2-4 months away from them showing off this thing? Mm-hmm. The question becomes I don't think it's going to... Do you think it's going to have a controller with a screen in it? Looking at the fact that they're porting certain games over.
Well, look at... I think so. Well, I was talking about this with Sean Capri on my other podcast, and that was one of the things that we brought, because he said to me, he's like, if we bring these games over that they're being talked about doing, how do we do it? Like, how do you do a Mario Maker? The obvious answer to me is the 3DS. Like, you allow people to build levels on the 3DS, and that would be your linked-in controller. Because they did it with Smash, like, you can utilize the 3DS as a controller for Smash on the Wii U. I would think that they could do something similar. The other thing would be is to create an app for your tablets, because they're doing a lot of this stuff with DNA, and they're doing a lot of mobile stuff. So to create a mobile app for your iPads, for your, we'll say tablets, for your phones. I mean, my cell phone's big. I have plenty of room that I could build a Mario Maker level on my cell phone, and then just easily port it over to the game. So I feel like there's ways around that stuff.
Yeah, that's my thinking. Is it'll coalesce, it'll use, because they mentioned tablet support and like you could hook up other devices. Mm-hmm. Perhaps these all out there rumors are all a little bit of truth to them. But I think the
they won't have a screen because they're trying to just leave the Wii U behind, and if their controller has another screen on it, people are just going to instantly think it's Wii U 2, you know, and they're trying to just get rid of that and move on from that. And even if it's a smaller screen that's maybe higher resolution, it's got dual touch or whatever, like, it's not going to be that much different to what they've already done with the Wii U. So I think they're just going to move on to something different.
Yeah.
Let's correct this for some. I feel it's a hybrid system, or it will become a hybrid system. In order to be that, you have to have a screen. I don't feel like that screen will be a touch screen or anything of that nature like the Wii U. I feel like, and that's the other reason why I feel like cartridges make sense. If you have a cartridge that's the size of this, which is an SD card, or a 3DS card, which is this, this size. So you take the two, you put them up next to each other. They're not that far off in size. I'm showing them on the video, so people at home can't really see if you're listening. But it's a little, maybe double the size. Then if you look at like Game Boy cartridges, things like that, like I feel like if it is a hybrid system, what makes a lot of sense to me would be like you use the same cartridge. You plug it into your controller, you take the controller with you, you go out, you do whatever, and it becomes a portable system. Or you plug it into your home console, and then it translates. And that's kind of what I think it could lend to be, which to me makes sense of why you would have cartridges.
I think if it is gonna be a hybrid, they're gonna sell it separately. So I think the home console. Definitely. The home console will come with its own controller without a screen.
Yeah.
And then you can buy a 3DS type handheld that has a screen on it.
I agree with that.
So I think that's how they would do it.
Because
I think if they're smart.
Good.
Sorry, I think if they're smart, if they do nail the March kind of time frame, an April time frame for the home system, you announce E3. And now the companion system will be out holiday this year.
Yeah, and that's the other thing with my conversation with Sean was we feel like the biggest downfall of the Wii U. I love the gamepad. I'm not an apologist for it. I think it's a great controller. I think it did what it needed to do for me. I was happy with it. I never looked at it and was like, oh, why do I need this? I just went and was like, oh, it's a controller with a screen on it. I could play it while Tony's watching TV, whatever it might be. So I didn't really have an issue with it. But for the people that did have an issue with it, the issue is they forced this on me. I could have got this console for $100 cheaper, but they forced this gadget on me. That's where I think where they're not, like Toby's saying, like it's not going to be a package. They'll do the NX, it'll be the home console, and then they'll say, oh, by the way, in a year, whatever, here's this handheld that you can use to play your games that you're playing on your console out on the run and on the go. And that would be a no-brainer for me. I'd be like, buy it in a minute.
That would be so good, yeah.
I think in the video we should link to the other episodes, so anyone that's joined us since that time when I was glorious and like an oracle of truth and speculation should have access to that as well. So.
You are such an egotistical...
Anyway, it's still only a rumor, so nothing's confirmed.
Yeah, it's all rumor at this point. So let's chill out with the Oracle talk. Once it happens, then we'll link.
Yeah, exactly.
It's backed up now more with the whole. Obviously, they're saying that in March we're going to see a big uptick in our business, which ties in with what Nintendo are doing. And I think obviously come September kind of time when they are going to show off this system, that's going to be one of the big features. I hope they kind of. If they do go kart, I hope they kind of, like you say, they go all out. Cool boxes, like cardboard boxes, all the manuals, kind of make that a feature. It's like they're collectibles. You know, don't make me want to trade it in. Make it something that I want to keep because it looks cool.
So this leads us to the next topic, which is E3. Alan said we're about 2 to 4 months from hearing anything, which I agree with. Definitely not happening at E3. It sounds like... It's kind of saddening because as much as I want to hear about Zelda, as much as I'm excited about Zelda, it just sounds like that's all they got. And what's confusing to me is, like, if they're going to do a 30-minute digital event on Zelda, I'm fine with that. I don't have an issue with that. per se. I was hoping to hear more, but my only hopes is E3 is a 3-day event, and they do Treehouse Live for 3 days. I just hope that it's not 3 days, 8 hours a day of Zelda. Like, if that's the case, I'm not even going to... I'll tune in for the digital event, whatever they do, and then I'm shutting it off, because I don't want the game to be spoiled for me.
Mm-hmm.
And
I feel exactly the same, Bobby, because you and I have both been as media blackout as we can for Uncharted 4.
Mm-hmm.
And like we watched the first E3 trailer, and that's pretty much it.
Yep.
And I feel like Zelda, I want to be the same way. You know, I've been impressed with what we've seen so far. I do want to see a little bit more, but seeing like a whole day worth of Zelda streaming and stuff, like I'm just gonna worry that that's gonna spoil loads and loads of content for that game.
Yeah.
That I want to experience for myself. So part of me just wants to forget that Nintendo's even going to E3 and just
honestly
look at the other people.
For me, I could wholeheartedly never hear about Zelda again until they launch the game. Those 2 clips they showed me, honestly, that's all I need. The only thing I need beyond that is what's the name of the game. Other than that, I could care less. It's a Zelda game. I've been playing Zelda games for 30 years. I know what I'm getting into. You're not shocking anybody with this.
Well,
I feel like
you say that, you say you know what you're getting into, but they're talking about turning everything on its head with this
and
one.
That's possible. And that's possible. But at the end of the day, like, I didn't know what I was getting into when I played the original Zelda. And I loved it. And I feel like that's kind of where they're going. They're going back to something very open, because at that time, that was open world. You could go anywhere you wanted. You could walk into any level you wanted. You could go out of order. It didn't matter. We had no clue that this was Dungeon 1 or this was Dungeon 3. Like, we had no idea. There was plenty of times, like, we'd be in Dungeon 3 getting smashed and could not figure out why. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, we're in the wrong dungeon. We got to go to 2. And then we zipped through 2, and it was like, oh, this is easy, because 3 was so hard. You know, so I feel like, show me some stuff. I'm fine with seeing some stuff. But honestly, if they didn't show me another thing except for the name of the game, I would be fine with that. I don't really need justification of what this game is. Like, just give it to us.
The problem is it's going to be unavoidable because they're showing so much of it off. You know, every news site is going to have massive stories on it, headlines like Zelda has got this new mechanic, and every other podcast is just going to have hours worth of chat about it, people analyzing videos and everything. It's going to be impossible to avoid spoilers.
Okay, go ahead, Alan.
Well, I mean, yeah, just kind of bring up what I'm going in for a couple of things. I want a trailer, a nice, cool new trailer. We need that. I want to see in that trailer the voice acting, because obviously that's been there's been a nod to that. I just want to see if this build of the game lives up to the original reveal when he kind of clicked his fingers and you had this kind of picturesque Disney-like landscape. There was like you know the guy herding the goats. You had the bad guy roaming around. You had I want to see that because the obviously it was the Spike Awards when we saw it then. The world looked empty, and everyone was like, "Okay, cool, big world, but it looks empty.
Yeah.
What have I got to do?" I want to see if they are going to deliver on the world. I'm with you. I've played Zelda games. I know what I'm getting into, and I know this is going to be a slightly different take on it. I just want to see that the world we're getting is something to be interesting. But Nintendo are only going to have one day. They're going to have one day of headlines. Because you're going to have Sony and Microsoft pulling out the big guns with the PS Neo. So they're going to be making a push on PSVR.
Yeah, but they go before Nintendo.
Microsoft. They do, but I think they've got more. They could easily eke out more surprises over the 3 days than Nintendo can. If Nintendo are Zelda.
So I look at this. All right. So last year, here's the example. You looked at what Bethesda did last year, and that's all you heard about. And Bethesda went first, and that's all you heard about. Everybody had to match up to. Maybe Nintendo looked at what Bethesda said or did and was like, you know what, let's go something like that. Let's just do one big game, leave it at that, and let's see what happens. Because, I mean, Zelda is their Skyrim, per se, or Skyrim is Bethesda Zelda. I think that this is what I feel is going to happen. I feel like we're going to get our 30, 40-minute digital event. It'll be 100% Zelda based. They'll explain where it went, what happened, why it didn't hit last year, blah, 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 blah. I don't think they're going to explain the differences between the NX version and the Wii U version. I think they're just going to basically say, like, oh, you might get better graphics, things like that. That might be all they touch on, if they touch on anything. My hopes is during the Treehouse Live, they do show some Zelda footage. I would like it to be the same footage over and over again, if they do, for different people that miss it. But the thing I'm really hoping for is, I'm hoping that they talk about the other games that they have. Like, that's typically why I'll tune in to every day of the Treehouse Live and watch it for all 8 hours, because I love it. Like, I want to see the indie games. Like, last year was so cool for me to be sitting there on the couch, and there's Brian from Image and Form up there, and I was like, oh my god, I know that guy. Like, that is awesome, you know? Like, and he was showing off SteamWorld Heist, and then they brought in Jules from Renegade Kid playing Mutant Mudds, and I hope they continue to do that stuff. Like, I hope it's just not Zelda 3 days, 8 hours a day, because I'll tune out.
Not only the indie stuff, like, I do want to see more of that Paper Mario game.
I do too.
And if they have any other new games, like I kind of just feel sorry that they're leaving all of their other developers out of the picture. They're not even mentioning it, and it's like, well, these people have been working hard on making these games. Why can't you show some of that off as well?
Yeah, exactly.
I know some. Sorry, Bob.
No, go ahead.
Well, I know someone. I was speaking to Scott, and I mentioned obviously, and he's like, "Well, what are they going to show?" And that's when the news came out of they're not going to have anything except for Zelda. And I never thought about the Treehouse Live, because I kind of put that out of my mind. But that may be their only time to show off other content that isn't going to be playable. But then again, that's going to really be 3DS focused beyond Paper Mario and
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Yeah. I want to know what they have. I don't want... like I said, I am 110% fine with if they give me 45 minutes of Zelda. But I feel like they have to give more. Like, I think they're going to hit us with a couple of directs the day before, like we've got last year. I think you have stuff coming. Like, you have more Amiibo coming. Like, they haven't talked about Bayonetta. They haven't talked about Corrin. Sure. Like, when do they hit? I think that comes in like a small mini direct like we got last year, just before. There's some stuff that I think they're going to hit us with leading in. But I really believe that they're going to do something. I just don't think that they can go in there with one game the whole 3 days. And that hasn't been said. Like, they basically said, we're showing Zelda, that's what we're showing. I think that's for the digital event, and I think a lot of people are jumping to the gun to go, well, this is all we're getting. And I hope that's not the case. Like, my heart of hearts says that's not the case, but we'll see.
How long is the live stream? I don't have it up here. How long was it put down as being... Did it say how long it was going to last?
Did they say live stream, or did they say our event?
Live stream.
But the live stream...
Reggie is going to introduce the live stream, and then
does every year.
And then they'll just go to the treehouse, and that's in their hour slot.
But they do that all the time. Reggie does it every year.
Zelda?
Yeah, but what I mean is when before they would have their direct at that time slot, instead of the direct, Reggie's just going to hand it over to a live stream where they're going to...
There's not going to be a show...
they're just going to play Zelda in that time frame. That's it. Or they're just going to show off Zelda in that time frame.
So it sounds to me like... So the 45-minute typical digital event that they normally do will now be a live stream of Zelda, which is fine. Yeah. And then, if I'm not mistaken, then it clicks into Treehouse Live.
Yeah.
So
I think that's right.
So if that's the case, then I don't think I have anything to worry about. I don't think they're dumb enough to do that. That'd be even dumb for them, honestly. Like, to me, like, that would be really dumb to waste 3 days on one game. But if they don't have anything else in the chamber, but with the 3DS, because the 3DS to me is far from done. Like, there's a lot of stuff on the horizon as opposed to like with the Wii U. The Wii U has like 2 definite games that we know of.
2 or 3, yeah.
So that's it.
You know, Tokyo Session, Tokyo Mirage
Session Mirage.
Paper Mario and Mario and Sonic at Olympic Games or something.
Yeah, but that game will be out before E3, won't it?
Will it? I don't know, but
who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
That game.
This comes back to my point of I kind of feel like I should jump ship while I kind of will get the most for it.
Yeah, but how much are you talking about getting? $100?
It's $100. If it's $100 to put towards my system now, then kind of next year when I'll get less than that.
How many games have you got to sell?
1, 2, 3, 8 games.
So you'll get more than 100 then if you've got 8 games with it.
And I'll just go straight onto a voucher so I don't accidentally spend on something.
Yeah, because I was going to say you'll spend that money. Who are you kidding?
Yeah.
You're hand to mouth, man. You'll.
Amy will want to go glamping again.
Yes.
Yeah, very possible. I mean, it's very likely it'll go towards PSVR, and I'll just save for NX.
If you do that, I will fly over and I will smash your face. Don't even be stupid, and I will rip all. Cheap. I will rip. I'm too cheap. Really?
Yeah.
A
wall of toys behind you.
My name's not Alan. I'm not cheap at all, man. I spend like I'm.
I can't believe you got the giant Yoshi.
Yeah, I got him yesterday.
I know. I showed it to Amy, and she just looked at me and goes, "You're gonna have to get one now, aren't you?" And I went, "Yep."
You know the funny thing is, so I was dead against it. I'm like, I'm not getting it. I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm totally against it. So. And when I didn't get it, and I saw everybody posting that they were going out and getting it, and I'm like, damn. And I didn't regret it the first wave, like when they put them out the first time. But then when they restocked them, and I saw everybody like how not easy, but how they were kind of readily available, and I thought, man, I should go get one. Then I started looking on eBay and Amazon for people that were selling them. I was like, well, maybe I could do a little bit better, but I couldn't. They were like a little bit more, and I was like, damn. So I walked in yesterday. I walked in Toys R Us with Tony, and I was going in for this stuff, World of Nintendo toys. I got like a little mini gold Mario and stuff, and like I've been collecting the World of Nintendo toys. So I went in looking for that stuff. I had this, and I had a question block that actually, when you pushed it, it made a sound.
So coin sound.
Yeah. So I was gonna put that back on the shelf behind me. And I was like, okay, I got these 2 things. So I was like, let's just go see the Amiibo selection. I'm always curious just to walk over and see what the selection looks like. So as I was walking in Toys R Us, I had a Mother 2 shirt on with Ness on it and stuff. And as I'm walking up, this guy goes, hey, man, that's a great shirt. I love that shirt. And immediately my thought is when someone says that to me, like if I'm wearing this shirt and someone says that, like they're a gamer. They know that type of reference stuff. So I was like, oh, man, thank you very much. Didn't think nothing of it. He's like, you look for anything? Nah, I'm just looking around. Go over, get my stuff. I was like, let's go check the Amiibo. And he was actually working the gaming section. He's like, you sure I can't help you with anything? And I was like, I'm going to ask you this, but I know you don't have it. Mega Yarn Yoshi? And he's like, let me go check in the back. And when he said that to me, I'm thinking, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the shelf, and Tony goes, Bobby. And I look over and he had it. I go, oh my God. I'm like, here, put this question block away. So she took it.
Get rid of that crap.
Get rid of that stupid thing. And so I bought it. And I was like, so then I said to her last night, I said, there's only one Amiibo I don't have. And she's like, really? And I was like, the gold Mega Man. And she's like, well, you need it now. Now you got to get it. And I was like, yeah, I think I do. So I started searching last night for it. So I'm gonna buckle down and buy it.
I'm looking at Amazon, and it's on Amazon. It's actually cheaper than I was expecting. Only £20 now.
That's not bad.
Can I get Yarn Yoshi?
Now here's what I want to throw to you guys. Okay. Do we all just, the 3 of us, go, we're gonna buy Gold Mega Man? We're gonna break down. We're gonna buy Gold Mega Man. Now, for you 2 that keep them in the box, I know that white backing is just horrible. You hate it. But I've got a friend named Seth Hay. And Seth Hay does all the custom boxes for all the customizers. So all the ones that Chris puts up and all that stuff. So if I go to Seth and I go, hey, I need you to design these backers for Gold Mega Man. Would that entice you guys to get one?
No.
I would do things, Bobby. I would do things for that.
The reason I say no is because he does amazing work. Like everything that he's done, like all of like Gander Chris's ones and everything, are just astonishing how good they look.
Yeah.
But as a collector who keeps them in their boxes, I would feel that taking it out of its packaging to put this new backing on it would sort of ruin it. Like in a way that it wouldn't be original. It would be. So
you would want the white backing then?
Yeah, just for the fact that I'm preserving how it originally came. Like, if I'm not opening it, I'm not opening it, no matter what.
Do you realize? I just want you to understand something. Do you realize this is why we left you guys in 1770? You are so uptight. You British are so uptight. It's not even funny. You're Scottish.
If you were to say
you're Scottish, you're a slave to the Brits. Stop.
Slave to the Brits. We chose to stay. We chose to stay.
You didn't choose anything.
Wait a minute. Wait. He's not a slave to the Brits. He is British. He's a slave to the English.
Same thing. Okay. Same thing.
But anyway.
Alright, so let's move it on.
If you were to get them and you were to get those backings, I would gladly forward you a check.
Okay. Let me talk to Seth.
It would bounce.
Let me see if I can. Yeah, probably. Let me see if I can come up with it and see what I could do.
Bouncy.
Now, okay, so here's the question: did you guys see the Amigos one that they did?
No.
So you guys know who Amigos is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mason, he made one where the Buster lights up at the end, and
That's
then, like in the game, you know when they introduced Mega Man, his eyes lit up.
All right.
So the eyes light up, and the Buster lights up.
Nice.
So Mason went to Seth and said, "Hey, can you make me a custom package for this?" And he did. He's got the Buster lit up, and the eyes are lit up. Dude, it is phenomenal. He does it, makes it, and the whole thing was Mason was making it for Seth as a thank you for all the backings that they do. So Seth didn't even know that he was making this for himself.
That's amazing.
It was awesome, dude. You got to look it up. It is awesome. So we're bringing something back this week. I know Toby is through the roof, ecstatic, giddy like a little kid on Christmas Day. We are bringing back Get Your Facts Straight. Now, the last time we did this, the three of us broke out into a fight and an argument.
Yeah, because Alan broke the rules.
No, you guys.
Both of you broke the rules.
So we're going to do this, okay? We're going to make it strictly video game related. You cannot divert from video games. So from this point on, it has to be video game related. The other thing is this will now be a breakout video, and it'll be posted on the Nintendo Guru channel. So every Monday, the full podcast will go up on the Geek Guru channel, and then this Get Your Facts Straight section will show up on the Nintendo Guru channel, which I think it'll be fun because it'll just be kind of like its own little thing, and people that like this part of it can kind of just go over and watch that if they want. Okay, so for those that have never seen this before or never heard of this before, this is what we do. The three of us have brought two facts to the table. We'll each take turns reading off our fact, and when we read off the fact, the other two remaining have to guess whether that fact is true or if it's false. If you get it right, you get a point. If you don't, you get nothing. And at the end, we tally it up, and we see who wins. So, Toby, we're going to let you go first.
Brilliant.
Your idea for the game, and we're bringing it back, and I want to make you happy.
If this isn't a Sonic one, I'll be annoyed.
I'm going to start as I
That's the other rule. No Sonic.
No. There's no rule for no Sonic. Alright, so my first fact is, it was rumoured that Michael Jackson made music for Sonic 3. But did you know?
You know, this guy, every time, it never fails. What is it with the British and Sonic?
But did you know his brother Jermaine Jackson made music for Sonic 06?
Okay, so wait. So what's the fact we're guessing on?
It was rumoured that Michael Jackson made music for Sonic 03. So that's the introduction to the fact.
Okay.
The fact is that his brother Jermaine Jackson contributed music to Sonic 06.
See, this is... Oh, man. Sonic 06, was that... What was that actually... What would that be?
The 2006 Sonic game.
But was it on Sega CD, or was it... What console was it?
No, it was on Xbox 360, PS3.
Oh, okay.
That one. The one that was universally panned for being rubbish.
I'm going to say false. What do you think, Alan?
You see, it's one of those really bad ones where it could be true. Toby likes to be a bit of a wormy little sod as well, so he'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go with.
True or false? Come on, Alan. Pick one.
What did you go for? You went for false.
I said false, yeah.
I'm going to go true.
It is false.
Yes.
Totally made up.
You know, here's the thing. The only thing that almost got me was when you said contributed. Like, because I thought to myself at first, man, he might have done something stupid on that game. Like, maybe he played the bongos in the corner for some stupid level just as a goof. And I was like, that's the only thing that made me think, like, I should say true. But
all right, so Bobby's
okay.
on 1 point.
Okay, so Alan, go ahead. What's your first fact?
Okay, I'm a big fan of this series. I'm still waiting on the third entry because Valve are too busy making money selling hats and Team Fortress and all that. But Half-Life obviously famously stars the protagonist, Gordon Freeman. But is it true or false that originally the character that you were going to play was a scientist called Ivan?
Okay. I need you to repeat the question.
In Half-Life, you play Gordon Freeman. However, before they settled on his character being your view through the world, they originally were planning to have the main character as a scientist called Ivan.
I'm going to say that's true.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's true as well.
It is false.
Oh my god.
I have been a cheeky sod because Toby decided to be. Originally in the game, you were going to assume the role of Ivan the Space Biker. However, they obviously decided to go in a different direction and move away from the Space Hells Angels character. So,
hang on a minute. So that was partially true. Instead of a biker, you said scientist.
Yep. That's tactical play, ladies and gentlemen.
This is why we stopped doing this. Because of Alan's stupid antics.
I don't know how to feel about that, because that's the sort of sneaky tactics that is sort of, it's unsportsmanlike, you know?
It's just not cricket.
Like,
exactly.
Okay, listen. If you're going to make up stuff from now on, you need to make it up. Like,
you do,
just changing one little aspect of it is nonsense.
You can't say that, you know,
the
original Mario came out in 1981 instead of like 1986 or whatever it was. Like, you can't just change one little thing by that small of a margin. It's got to be something drastic.
Yeah, I agree. Moving forward, this is fine now. We're going to move forward, but that's the way it needs to be in the future. You can't just go, hey, this sand disk is black, and then all of a sudden, oh, but it's got gold too. Like, no, that ain't going to work. So, moving forward, don't cheat, Alan. Okay. All right, so Earthbound. It wasn't released in Europe, but it wasn't released because it took 5 years to translate and to finish, and that happened when Iwata stepped in. At this point, the SNES was coming to an end, and Nintendo didn't feel there was enough time to localize it for Europe because of the way they put the personal touches in Earthbound for the United States. They wanted to do the same for Europe, but they didn't have the time. They didn't feel like they had the time to do it for the Super Nintendo, so they just scratched the idea altogether. True or false?
This is typical you bringing an Earthbound fact.
Whatever, man. Just like your Sonic. I don't hear nothing.
Yeah, but at least you got Sonic in the United States. We didn't get Earthbound, so like no one likes Earthbound in Europe.
And the fact
just like
is,
no one likes Sonic in the States. Yeah.
The fact is why it didn't come to Europe.
I think
rewritten history for you.
You're full of nonsense on this one. I just think they didn't think it would suit the audience.
I'm going to go true with the localization thing.
Why Finnish, though? Why did he talk about Finnish? Like, I think that's a red herring he's just thrown in there.
Probably. I think he's just being a...
It's false. They did want to bring it to Europe, but because it cost so much money to localize for the United States, with all the changes and the personal touches they threw in and all the marketing, because it didn't sell well, is why they didn't take it to Europe. They just axed it and moved on.
So there we go. 1 point to Toby.
I'm flailing right now.
See, Alan, that's how you change a fact. You just go in a totally different direction. Okay, Toby, what's your next fact?
Okay, right. So, the ongoing villain from the Sonic franchise.
Oh, what the... Dude! Stop! Seriously?
Dr. Eggman, also known and preferably known as Dr. Robotnik.
I'm sorry, we need to limit Toby to one Sonic fact per show.
This is... Okay, because we're kind of moving forward from this. These are the last facts you get with Sonic, Toby. No more after this show.
Fair.
Yes, it is. After this show, no more Sonic facts. It's done. We made the rule before, but because we brought it back, all of a sudden you're like, oh, we're going to rewrite history and act like...
What have you got against the Blue Hedgehog?
It's nothing I have against the Blue Hedgehog other than the worst game ever created by mankind. That game, it's worse than E.T., I'm surprised they didn't bury it in a desert in Arizona.
Alright, are we ready for this awesome fact?
Oh, go ahead.
So the series villain, Dr. Eggman, also known as Dr. Robotnik, I prefer calling him Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, same.
Anyway, so Robotnik, when you fight him in his boss fights, he's always, well, most of the time he's in a vehicle, whether that's a flying machine or some robot thing. The majority of those vehicle designs are based on early Soviet Union prototypes. So they were prototyping crazy vehicles in the Soviet Union and stuff like that, and a lot of the vehicles from Dr. Robotnik are based on those prototypes.
I'm going to say true.
I'm going to go false. I'm on a roll of fails today anyway, so
well, you know what? This is your fortune turning around, Alan. It's totally made up. 1 point to Alan.
In your face!
Calm down over there.
Alright, so we're on a point each.
Go ahead, Alan. Your next fact.
My next fact is that... Oh, I've lost it. Oh, here we are. Right. In the Wii version of Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, there was going to be a character, pretty much it was going to be Link, and the deal fell through.
True.
Who published that game?
Oh, I can't remember who published it.
I'm going to say false.
It is true.
Ching!
There is a character model that was going to be used in that game. It was going to be a guest character, kind of exclusive to it. The reason given Oh, no, it doesn't give a reason. It just got cut. I'm guessing it was published by Activision, though, so maybe there was kind of a thing. So, shock the gurus ahead. Oh my god.
There's a shocker. Okay, next one.
It's a fix. It's his show.
In 1989, Sharp created, manufactured, and sold a TV with a built-in NES. True or false?
True.
True.
That is true. It is true. They did it for a limited run in 1989. It only sold limited in the United States. It sold for 6 years in Japan.
Wow.
And they actually went as far as to make a Super Famicom one in 1990 because it did so well. So.
Well, you know what that means.
It means right now we are all tied up.
We are all tied, yeah.
I like
what do we do? What's the new rules for this situation?
Well, I do have a third question that I can ask. Did you guys bring any? Do you have any more Sonic questions, Toby?
I do. I have more Sonic facts.
I did not bring any more facts.
Well, let's do this. Toby, you ask yours first.
Okay.
And we'll see kind of what happens at this point.
Okay. The series villain, Dr. Robotnik,
God,
is based on real-life scientist Galileo.
False.
Yeah, I'm going to go false as well.
That's completely made up.
Good Lord. Good.
That wasn't a very good one. I should used one of the other ones.
There's a shocker. Please. Like the game, everything is horrible with Sonic. This is why I don't want you doing Sonic stuff, because you start making up stupid facts that just, it's ridiculous. Okay. So... Alan doesn't have one. So if I ask one...
Yeah. I've found one that I can use if we want to do like a...
Let's do it. Okay.
Wave time. Okay.
Do the next one. Yeah.
Okay, right. Do you remember the game Gun Valkyrie?
I don't remember it, but I know of it. Go ahead.
Okay. Obviously, I think it released as Valkyrie, but anyway, it was originally a game in development for the Dreamcast. Never got completed, but it's the thing that they were pushing at the time was a unique play style, and instead of just playing with a controller, you'd actually play with a controller and a light gun at the same time.
At the same time?
Yes.
Like, one hand...
that.
Hang on, one hand with a Dreamcast controller.
True.
Or one hand with a light gun.
True. Just answer, Toby. True or false, Toby?
Or do you mean a light gun?
Stop trying to drag it on.
Controller buttons.
You're trying to get technical, and if he is wrong, you're trying to botch him.
A controller and a light gun at the same time.
True or false, Toby? Stop trying to drag
Hang on, you say this game was cancelled?
It was, well, it never came out in the Dreamcast in that form, but I think it got picked up later on as Valkyrie. But I could be incorrect on that part. But
that could be a significant reason why it was not put on Dreamcast, because it's a stupid idea. But then they could change the controls for a normal console.
Oh, here we go.
And actually release it. Oh, I'm going to say false, because it's a mental idea. Unless you meant a controller with buttons.
Oh, I said true, you said false. What is it?
I'm saying false.
It's true. It was developed as a Dreamcast game where you would play with the controller and a light gun at the same time. So,
who in their right mind came up with that goddamn idea? Let's have the beefiest controller in history in one hand and a light gun in the other.
Right now we are at... I'm at 4. Alan's at 3. Toby's at 2. So Toby cannot win. The only thing Alan can do right now is tie.
Woo.
Which means we'd have to answer another Sonic question. But okay. So Nintendo created a knitting machine add-on for the NES, where you could create patterns of NES characters and such and print them out to make like scarves and sweaters and such.
True.
Then the ad that they had for it was called "Now You're Knitting with Power."
Oh no! Hang on a minute. Don't throw that in there.
What?
Now you're knitting with power.
That is the best tagline in history, if it's true. Which it's not. It's false.
I believed it up until that point.
No, I know it's false because I've seen this fact pop up before.
Isn't there some like crazy like Rob knitting thing or?
Yeah, he knits you socks.
I'm gonna say false because you said that now you're knitting with power. That's false.
It's
false. It was the Game Boy. They developed a Game Boy.
No, that's not
knitting
true.
machine.
It did not come out, but
it was for the Game Boy.
They did make it. No, it was for the NES.
I think it was for the NES.
Google.
That's why my mind was thinking this sounds really familiar.
But the ad is correct. They did have an ad that said
they
"Now You're
had
Knitting
an
with
ad.
Power." Yes, because they had all the mock-ups ready to go.
I want to see that.
I'll pull
That's
it.
Incredible.
Listen, I will give it to you guys after the show. The fact is that I won.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you
won, Bobby.
for winning again. I am.
There it is, there. Game Boy knitting machine.
That's not the one. Well, I'll show you after the show. Just relax. And I'll actually put a link to it in the show notes so people can see that I dominated yet again. So that is all. Thank you guys for listening to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, watching this on YouTube if you did. Hopefully, if you like this, get your facts straight, you'll check it out on the Nintendo Guru Weekly, all that good stuff. So follow me, Instagram, Twitter, at the Geek Gurus. You can follow Where did Alan go? Alan.
I don't know.
He's like crying.
Hello.
Alan at Alan_Paxton on Twitter and Instagram. Toby, you can follow him on Twitter at Toby's_take. That's all you're getting this week, Toby. That is all. Peace, mother.
Bye.
Toodles.